She was 9 years old when her mom got diagnosed with lung cancer, never smoked a day in her life. And it started in her lungs and went through her throat and then eventually went into her brain. And during that time, she had to take care of her mom. She was only 9. She couldn't go to the bathroom by herself, so she had to use a bedpan, and she had to endure all that mental stress. And she had to shave her own mother's head when her hair was falling out. And 2 years later, her mother died at the age of 10. And it's so hard on her every day because she was so young. She says it's harder now when she's older than when she was younger, because when you're young, you don't exactly understand the concept of death. But now she understands it, and it's just hard on her.
My story's a little bit different. In 2012, my mom got diagnosed with oral cancer. She went through a bunch of radiation, and eventually, like during my sister's graduation, she was fine. She was eating. Her tongue swelled really bad, so she couldn't eat when she was going through radiation. In around late August, before school started, she got transferred to the hospital in Ann Arbor, and there wasn't really anything they could do. The cancer spread from her tongue back to her voice box to her epiglottis. It was spreading pretty much like all over. They said chemo would help, and then we got told about 4 weeks later that chemo would fast up the process and would kill her eventually. And 4 days after we found out that, I lost my mom. So that was kind of hard. Yeah.
We have a music video about cancer. It's called Hold On.
Just remember to start something real quiet.
Yeah.
she lived through her son's marriage and lived to see her grandkids.
Miss Lockwood, both of her parents had cancer. She was really close to her dad, so when we asked her about it, she kind of started crying. I don't remember what kind of cancer her parents both had, but they had different ones. She said that her dad, he had like throat cancer or something like that, and his stomach is like up here and like near his chest. So that's what we did.
And then our big question was, how can we make a difference in our community school with Malish Miracles? We thought about cancer and it instantly came to our mind because our families and us personally have been affected by cancer, and there's so many factors that can contribute to the disease. That like with my stepmom, I mean she had lung cancer, but she never smoked a day in her life, so you can't really pinpoint it in a way.
Same with my mom. She had a tumor in her tongue. She never smoked. They said it's very unrealistic, not very common, I guess, but they said it does happen.
Yeah. Water time was important. So many people are affected. There are like rare types and types that no one has even heard of. Like I have SINA, and we had to pick a cancer. I picked leukemia, but there's so many different types out there that no one has even heard of. And giving back whatever we could to help further the search for cure was well worth every effort put in.
These are just our sources, two teachers, and a website, a book.
So what did we do? We had a 5-question survey, randomly selected teachers in 5th hour classes to raise money for Malish Miracles. We posted a blanket at Chip Lanes. The statistics were 2/3 of the student body have been affected. 63 had a member with breast cancer, 21% had skin, and then 5% had bone.
Yeah, like I said, they both shared some personal stories. Miss Lockwood, we had to keep on cutting off the video because she was bawling her eyes out. And then we have Miss Bowes up here, so we're going to show that to you guys next.
What kind of cancer did you have?
I had breast cancer that had spread to the lymph node and beyond. So I would today be a stage 3 cancer.
What kind of treatment did you do to overcome it?
I had 6 months of chemotherapy and lots of surgeries, and that's it.
How long did the process go on for?
Well, we did 3 months of chemo, and then surgery, and then 3 more months to catch any cancer cells that still existed.
Did it just spread to your lymph nodes?
Lymph nodes and beyond, although it did not go into other organs like my liver. The 4 places that breast cancer will travel to is the brain, the bones, the liver, and the lungs. And so thankfully, it was not in any of those places.
How long have you been in remission?
I've been in remission 21 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How old were you when they found out you had cancer?
I was 2 weeks after my 37th birthday.
So you were young.
I was a baby.
When you found out, what were your emotions? Like, how did you feel?
I was terrified because I have a young son at home, and I think I cried every single day for a solid year. Yeah, and I guess the biggest emotion would be being so afraid of my life ending early and not being around to raise my son. So I kept him as my motivation, and my goal, and my future. probably more so than the average parent, just simply because of what it represented for me. And so then I set other goals, like I wanted to be at his wedding, and then I wanted to see grandchildren, and then I wanted, you know, on and on. And I was able to be at his college graduation, I was able to be at his wedding, so I was good.
That's good. What was the biggest obstacle? What was your biggest obstacle when you were in chemo and then also the end stages of the cancer before going into remission?
I would say the greatest obstacle was my fear and trying to stay positive all the time. And for the most part, I was able to do that, and yet there were times when the fear just was a nightmare. I mean, literally, I would wake up in the middle of the night and know that I had been planning my funeral in my sleep. And I would wake up and know that I thought I was dying. And so it's that kind of thing that is so hard about cancer, way harder than, you know, the physical pain of it. It's the emotional pain that is such a struggle.
Were you teaching around this time?
I was not. I worked at Central Michigan University, so I was working in the counseling office at CMU when this happened.
Are you scared it's gonna come back?
I am always scared that it's going to come back, always. The fear has absolutely gotten better and better, well, less fear as the years have gone on. So it's not that terrifying, you know, take your breath away when you go into a doctor's office to get your, you know, yearly check. It's not that anymore. So it has gotten easier, but it's still a fear because breast cancer is the one cancer, which you know, that they will never tell you that you are cured, no matter how long, because that cancer cell can lie dormant in your body for 20, 30, 50 years, and then something will trigger it, and it will start growing again, and it will come back, and that's crazy. Most cancers, if you make it past 5 years, you're good, you know, you're good, and they'll tell you that you're cured. But breast cancer does not have that.
Did you have a history of breast cancer in your family?
Zip. None. And all the 7 risk factors, I had none of those. Yeah, so it was really random that I got it. I mean, we've had other cancers in my family, but never breast cancer. And it just seemed like it came out of the blue. It was discovered on a Monday, and by Wednesday I was on chemotherapy. It was like, what? What just happened?
Isn't cancer supposed to be like genetic?
It can be both.
Yeah, not always at all. No.
It can be environmental and it can also be genetic.
And it can be just random. I mean, right now, the cancer statistics, and it includes all kinds of cancer, including just like basal cell skin cancer, which is non-life-threatening
It's not.
generally. But it's 1 in every 2 people in
Wow.
their lifetime. Those are horrific odds, you know, but it's reality. At least now, if you're diagnosed, there are treatments for many, many, many types of cancers that they didn't have even 10 years ago. So it's no longer looked at as a death sentence, it's looked at as a chronic illness, one that, you know, you can suffer with for a number of years.
Right.
It'll go away, come back, go away, come back. But at least it's not the death sentence that it used to be.
Okay.
Even when I was diagnosed 20-some years ago, there was no one in this town that had the same diagnosis that I had that survived.
Well,
So
Did you go to the Memorial Cancer Center for treatment?
I did not, it was not here at that time. I did all of my work in Midland Hospital.
and one more question.
Sure.
What helped you make your cancer treatments be positive enough to outlast chemo?
I am blessed with many, many wonderful people in my life. I have a lot of friends, I have a wonderful family, a beautiful son, and a great husband, and so I've been very blessed with that. And I can tell you for a fact that no cancer patient could survive this without the people in their lives. And that's what we need. Absolutely, without a doubt. More than anything, it's the people in my life. And so I was able to determine what I wanted out of life, and that had nothing at all to do with money, big house, big car, could care less. So it's like a matter of priorities, and I think if cancer does nothing else for you, it offers a little gift, and that's being able to prioritize what's important in your life, and it gives you a little gift of life, which is so ironic because we think of it as, surely that's going to kill us. But if you survive, you are able to then look back and say, okay, I get it now. I get what life is all about. And so it's a gift, yeah.
Okay, say goodbye to the camera.
That was Mrs. Strauss and her group. On the American Society website, there are several factors like she talked about, like considering cancer, genetics, if it's hereditary or not, if you've had it in your family, tobacco, your diet and physical activities, sun and UV exposure, radiation, exposure and other carcinogens like the environment and stuff like that. So our project didn't go as planned. The first time we did it, no one showed up. So we did another one like in a few short days that we had. We just didn't want to do a small part. We wanted to get everybody involved, but it didn't go as planned the first time.
These are pictures, we said, Keith and Whisper are really good to me now. So you guys know.
And then we have Leanna, Zoe Goddard, Keith, and then Amanda, Eric Pearson, Emily Pryor, and my little brother, Cody, and Whisper. These are just a couple second videos of like at Chiplings. You have to make it public, it's private.
No worries.
Sorry. shows that